What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 6 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Orion Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time, we started the engagement against the ogres, not just those in the Mountains of Morn under Goldtooth, but having knocked down Scrag himself, as well with Loren over here. I'm pretty happy about that result, and I'm excited to see how strong the, well, all-range army is gonna be with that extra 20% range. I do wonder if there was anything else that gives them any other range. We got plus 10% via Nature's Quiver, so that'll be 30% total. And I wonder whether we can get any other... Oh, we get 5% range in addition to that through every single Waystalker that we have, don't we? Pick them off, another 5%. Not anything crazy range-wise, but that'll be a plus 40% total, and it'll make everybody in that army all that much more deadly. Anyway, in terms of what we got to do this time, we're going to continue fighting the ogres. We do want to try to knock out Belegar's faction as fast as possible because they're going to annoy us pretty much forever until we do. And besides, they have their underway stance, which means they will always be ready to jump over the mountains and then start annoying us. So they definitely have to be a major target. In terms of this particular turn, I do believe the only one who can move is Deluric with her piles of Glade Riders. She's still waiting to be able to recruit more Sisters of the Thorn for both Orion and for other armies, but for now she can certainly put a dent in the Mountains of Morn. So, do we go for you? I guess we go for you. I was wondering whether we should attack the Great Hall of Greasus directly or allow them to come in as a reinforcement. Yeah, we could destroy you and you while waiting. Yeah, let's do that, assuming they don't run, of course. Let's go. Once again, a little bit more for the work for the Glade Riders. And it's nice to see the missile cap. Before we get started, yes, we did reach the engagement threshold once again, and so this will be an hour-long episode, and 400 likes and 60 comments, and the next episode will follow the same format. Away we go. Alrighty, Nature's Fury all on Cabal. I guess except the enemy lord. But anyway, little tiny army is what we're going to start with. The poor Slaughtermaster is using Gluttony to keep himself up and running, and that's a heck of a lot of healing coming in. But will it out-damage all of the arrows coming in from the Glade Riders? In the meantime, this poor single unit of Noblars will get charged by the Glade Riders from both directions and will get absolutely crushed between them and destroyed pretty much instantly. And the enemy Lord is also in similar shape and with Gluttony ended is just running out of HP. Alright, a couple more shots and by the looks of it we will be good. The Lord will go down and we will simply be able to await reinforcements. Alright, come on. Down that Slaughtermaster, and okay, you guys maybe shouldn't have run forward like that. You're gonna get hit by, yep, there's the friendly fire. It always feels, it always doesn't feel quite right when there's friendly fire from elves upon other elves. Just for some reason, it feels like with their arrogance they should probably aim a little better, not kill off their own allies. Anyway, it looks like the reinforcements are here and we're gonna do the same thing, but with the sheer number of troops that are coming in as reinforcements, and there's going to be a lot more kiting around. We won't be able to destroy this army nearly as easily, and well, we'll see how long it takes for us to run out of ammunition before we're forced to charge in with the melee Glade Riders. Anyway, looks like the ogres with dual weapons are leading the charge, poisoned up and toxic venomed, so they are of course losing HP over time even as they move towards us. It would be nice if we could acquire another source of poison and stack even more poisons, because that's fun. Gotta double check if there's anything in the roster that would give us that. We're missing lethal toxin, I believe. Yeah, we have toxic venom and the regular poison. Lethal poison is, I think, the thing. The thing that plague toads of Nurgle have. Anyway, the enemy continues to give chase, but of course, while ogres are fast, even without the poison, they're not going to be fast enough to catch the Glade Riders, at least until they run out of ammunition. Fireball whips and smashes into the hillside there, though one of them did hit us, and the one that did hit and did pretty good damage. On top of that, we got a few volleys out of the man-eaters with ogre pistols, and by the looks of it, skirmish mode failed over on this side since the Glade Riders seem to have run into the side of the map and did get caught by some of these ogres. Gonna have to keep running. Please don't move in a column formation like that, that's dangerous. And we're probably going to take a few more volleys from various enemies as well. The hunter has not yet killed anything and is down to about half HP, but we gotta watch out for those big ol' harpoons, even if they're not going to be nearly as threatening as those man-eaters with ogre pistols. Fortunately, we don't have any single entities for the man-eaters to obliterate with their fire. Once again, I have a very healthy respect for these units. After seeing what they did in the Aranessa campaign and pretty much insta-killed tons and tons of single entities with those ogre pistols, I'm just very wary of them. Alrighty, and it looks like, oh, just like the fireball of the enemy whiffed into the hillside, so did our amber spear fail. And on top of that, we took damage due to miscast, so that ain't great. Looks like an enemy unit of Gorgers has decided to make itself known, as obviously they are a stalking unit, and will continue to attempt to charge us. However, will suffer the same issue that the other units do. They simply can't do anything about the horse archers as yet. That said, our ammunition is below half, at 30% in fact, in many places, and our our Glade Riders have started to enter the fray as well. The first unit of Glade Riders did charge the Lead Belchers and lost about half their number before having to pull out. No wink. Unfortunately, once again, the fragility of the Glade Riders means that even charging Lead Belchers, who are terrible in melee, they will very much be in danger. So with the Lead Belchers routing, we're going to back off, sending in another unit of Glade Riders to stop the enemy ogre pistols as well, with a little bit of extra melee damage reflection via the Shield of Thorns and armor via the Vissen's Wild Form. Hopefully that'll make these guys tanky enough to fight the hunter and the man-eaters with ogre pistols, and just long enough to dish out damage, or for additional damage to be dealt via our range units when they're not being harassed by the enemy man-eaters. Alrighty, and it looks like the Glade Riders have taken sufficient damage now. One is backing off, the other is routing, but the rest of our units are still firing. Bit of a shootout happening with the man-eaters here, who have managed to down 31 of our units, and have gotten a solid 9,000 damage as well. Once again, not to be underestimated. At the very least, not to be underestimated when facing off against the basic light cav that we have on offer in this particular army. Fortunately for us, what the heck? That was weird. Screen went weird there for a second, but oh well. I forgot what I was saying before I did. Probably something to the effect that the bounce power is at about 80% in our favor now, and we are still able to destroy most of the enemy units. Some have shattered, some have gotten hunted down or been hunted down, and we will back off with the melee Glade Riders rather than continue in the fight. Alright, if it wasn't for the lack of, well, general, I should say, lack of barding on their horses, I mean, they have some, but it doesn't look like heavy barding. These guys would look like heavier cab. Frankly, with the mod, they look more like medium cab than they do light, but, well, hopefully we can give them sufficient armor once again to make them feel that much more heavy. Anyway, looks like our ammunition is very much in dire straits now, down to about 10% of it, and are absolutely having to use the damaged units of our Glade Riders, but fortunately for us, just as our ammunition reaches the about 10% mark, the last of the enemy units will give up and the battle will be ours. A very interesting fight. This army, because of its nature, feels very, very different from the other armies. It's definitely making me feel like we should absolutely build a just fully sort of kiting army. Hawk Riders, Sisters of the Thorn, Glade Riders together. Possibly, probably without the Glade Riders melee, because they once again don't serve too much of a purpose. And sufficiently leveled Sisters of the Thorn can fight in melee as well, and so can Hawk Riders. So there is that. But obviously without Wild Riders, because, well, that would just make it a melee army, and that would be a little bit different. Anyway, with that, the enemy army is destroyed, the battle is ours, close victory. It certainly was, because we took quite a lot of damage on a lot of our units, especially when we had to commit our melee forces, but it was a great fight. Alright, an Armor of Fortune. Nice pickup. I believe Orion is looking for a bit of armor, isn't he? So we'll give that to him. The release captives is a little bit disappointing, however, but, well, what can you do? Now, we can heal up, but I think we're sufficiently damaged to need to return to heal and possibly to recruit as well, so I guess it's time for Deluric to start moving back. Besides, with the hunt ending in 3 turns, she needs to get back there before it does, so that she can actually transfer those Sisters of the Thorn, which, as we can see, have been dishing out massive amounts of damage, even against the ogres. It's also nice to see the Glade Riders with spears get a little bit of action. The fact is, the Glade Riders with spears do become obsolete rather quickly. Completely replaced, I guess, by Wild Riders and potentially Stag Knights. The thing is, because of the generally fast nature of the Wild Riders, it makes for the Wood Elves well, light cav kind of pointless, because you're giving up, well, all the effectiveness of the unit usually for the speed that light cav offers you. And I guess the, well, not expensive costs, but the costs don't matter too much to us, and the speed is very, very much there on the others anyway. Oh, wait, 4.3k. Huh? Wait, what did I see before? Oh, it's this, that's 2.2k. Yeah. Well, it's still not enough, but anyway. Yeah, the Wild Riders are speedy enough is what I was getting at. Let's abduct those captives, though, just in case we get attacked. And the remnants should still be raised here. Oh, they were all destroyed. Alright, let's raise this and try not to move. Great Hall of Greases has fallen. Huh. I wonder if we get anything special out of gold. I feel like we don't. I feel like we... Relax. Calm down. Ooh. Wardens of Citharol unlocked. More Wildwood Rangers, as we are going to, and I've already begun to build the Wildwood Ranger army. That's exciting. I do wish we could recruit more in a single turn, but at the same time, I suppose we wouldn't have had the room to do so. Anyway. Oh, wow. I didn't realize Durthu's army was, well, maxed out. Obviously, like, half this army is going to go to other places, but, you know. Speaking of, we need the War Dancers and potentially the Glade Captain to stay here, but we should probably transfer the Way Watchers down to Loren here, since we don't have any other Way Watchers. Other than the Hawkeyes of Drakira. I suppose we can also give you a name while we're at it. Let's see. So the Waste... Ooh, I know a good name. You will be Consorts of Anathrema. Oh, wow, it fit. Very nice. Considering the Way Stalkers have the Prey of Anathrema ability, kind of makes sense to give this particular name to these guys, as they are Way Watchers. Well, probably name a few others. Huh. Okay, there was a suggestion for a unit of Blade Dancers. That's not a thing. There are Blade Singers and there are War Dancers. I don't know what Blade Dancers are. I'm just going to assume that it's War Dancers, if that was specified here. Or maybe that's just me being stupid and I wrote it wrong. That's probably more likely. But anyway, Dance Macabre, not to be confused with the spell of the Lore of Vampires of the same name. What else do we have here? Okay, where is it, guys? Please stop naming hawks. I have more hawk names than anything else. You guys really love hawks, don't you? Jas Gripen will be your name. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of Eternal Guard that we're keeping around. We have, I think, no names specifically for the Deepwood Scouts, although I think that there are names that are just generally general. Anyway, I mean, we can also name a couple of the trees for Durthu. Terrible timber. And we should name the tree singer, the spell singer, Terrible Timbre. Ha ha ha. I'm so stupid. Let's, I guess, name a dryad. I guess we are gonna keep some dryads in Durthu's army. I'll do the first. He will be the silent. Hey, H. How dare you? You betrayed me for the last time, H. Silent foes. Alrighty. Good enough for now? I'm gonna say good enough for now. Alrighty, let's keep on going. Although, actually, there's not anything to keep on going with this turn because we are out of movement on everybody but Daith. Alright, Daith, start moving down here. Also, what do we need to do to confederate these guys? Somebody asked in the comments whether the quests for confederation are going to be useless or not. Well, Vidrioth will be confederated by one more fight with the Greenskins, which might happen earlier than we actually get the confederation option, so potentially not, at least with the main factions. Other things, like the Spirits of Shanlin, we're unlikely to confederate unless we actually do this. As to where we're going to find a battle against Grand Cathay, well, I would expect the only way that we could do so is by getting a forest encounter here. Also, does the game notify us when there are forest encounters? Because they can appear in other tree territories, right? I don't see any here. Win 1 battle, raid a region, win 3 battles, sack an awe, defeat the following lord's army. Huh. Okay, we have to keep an eye out on the other things. Nothing at Orion's camp, there's nothing at the Spirits of Shanlin place, there's nothing at the Sacred Pools, it doesn't actually appear to be anything anywhere. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe you can't get those unless it's only in your territory. I swear, no, that's not, no, it's not. We had one in Crags of Findal, and we had one in Vol's Anvil before we confederated them. Remember we had to trespass to do both of them. So we can get those. Okay, just gotta watch out for them. Anyway, unassigned skill points, outposts, and diplomacy. I doubt it. I sincerely doubt it, but I'll take a look. Carcassonne nearly to the military alliance, and nothing else really matters. The Awakened I don't want to peace out with because I really would like to be friends with Itza, and the Dreadfleet I would really like to be friends with the High Elves, because there's units of theirs that we could very well use with ours. Only 2,000 gold for peace treaty with Oslin, not enough. At least not enough at the current time. How does Itza feel about us again? It's okay, our strategic threat has grown too high because I took too many of those outposts, but oh well. End turn, let's proceed.
If I had my way, the wild hunt would
Well. If it didn't Goldtooth. You want a peace treaty now, eh? Well, I suppose since we are moving back, I guess we can peace out with you for a little bit. Sure, Goldtooth, sure. And discovered, what is this? Bald Egg. March stance, oh right. Loren went into an ambush stance after destroying Scragg's army. Unfortunately, Loren won't heal. But I still say we're strong enough to take the money. Especially because the healing is kind of negligible. And also because he doesn't have a caster. Oh, I should get him a caster. Alright, will anybody else book it on towards us? And when will Gold 2-3 declare war on us, I wonder as well. We do actually have a fairly nice ruin barrier between us and them. And to this point, it's not complete, but it's getting there. And at least we won't make these guys hate us. Oh, since the northern provinces annoyingly decided to break our defensive alliance, let's see what the western provinces have got. Alright, Morbidus and Daughters of the Forest are dead. Loren has a fireball, but I don't think... Oh... Probably not on you. Oh, Orion already has the armor fortune. Okay, we'll give it to Durthu. Ambush foiled Loren, Constructor. Building allegiance. Earn 20 allegiance with any allied faction. Yeah, but it's not the faction that I wanted. Forest encounter. Ah, there it is. There's one in Loren. Black Pit Tribe Greenskins. Hello. If we do this, we can complete the Confederation of Vidrioth as soon as we do. Alright, that's nice. Alright, so that means, Orion, we need you to go to Magical Forest. We could actually jump you to the waterfall. No, we can't. Belagar. The Dowie again. Alright, fine, fair enough. We'll go into ambush stance outside of Gristle Valley then, and we'll see where he goes afterwards. Or masterful ambush stance, I should say. If he's what the heck is this? If he's trying to go, well, actually, those would be threatening to our Hawk Riders, perhaps. But probably not so threatening that we'll be super concerned. Anyway, I wanted to check something, and then I promptly forgot what it was because I got distracted by a million things, and also I'm an idiot. Game Lodge for you, but that's not what I was thinking of. Well, either way. Oh, yes, now I remember. Wait, first of all, you. Go down here, like so. You. -6, yeah, that's not gonna happen. Oh! Actually, it might happen. There's a faction we hadn't actually declared war on yet. Yes it is. Yes, happy. Yes it did. I lost the ability to speak there for a second. But it does tend to happen when I get excited. Anyway. Western provinces. Try not to screw us over in the manner of your northern counterpart. We may have to destroy them. Hopefully you can federate them. But anyway, well, actually, hopefully they are willing to go with us again. But, you know, I have a tendency to hold a bit of a grudge, as the Greybeards prospectors well know. Anyway, Scout, keep looking for factions. Let's see if we get any more factions encountered. Bleak Coast Buccaneers and Lamian Sisterhood. Hello. Now let's chat. Alright, Lamian Sisterhood is at war with Crooked Moon and Bone Rattlers, both of whom we are already at war with. So we will talk to you, we will join your war against the Drippin' Fangs, like so. And we will declare war on you. Don't bother calling allies to help. I still find this method hilarious. Declare war on who they're fighting and then declare war on them. It must be so confusing for the enemy. Anyway, where are those rogue armies? Bleak Coast Buccaneers. And declare war. Alright, just gotta be careful being out at sea, and there we go. Alright, your army is not free, 903. It's actually reasonably expensive as far as these armies go. We should probably raise our sack for Verdanos, although it does have a... it does have trade goods. In fact, the entire Western Border Prince is a fairly decent province. The only issue there is that, while it is... there's just too many enemies here. And we're probably better off just raising everything around. Also, you can probably go into Forest Call stance. Also, you could probably go into Bolts of the Forest to buff them up a little bit more. Oh, look at that. Little work. Little gobbo, rather. That's the one. Alright, Pyrrhic Victory, we're going to have to fight you again. Alright, we'll probably fight the super... Well, okay, I guess we are damaged, which is probably why the game is thinking that bad things might happen there. But somehow I doubt it. Anyway, Orion, stay where you are. Ah, wait, were we actually able to... We're actually able to come very, very close to Belagar. But the thing is, if we fail to intercept him, he'll jump here, and then we probably won't be able to reach him from there. On the other hand, if he goes down here, then it'll be a bit more of an issue.
What do you need?
We shall see. For now... I wonder if rebel armies are able to intercept. I have absolutely no clue. But it's an interesting thought. For now, go down to Kirig Buftar. No, you are going to... You know what? I was going to trade the Glade Captain and the... Well, actually, we probably still should. Yeah, but then we won't be able to move immediately. You know what? We'll transfer them back. Go down to Kirig Buftar. You can also help defend it if there's rats or something around, which is a distinct possibility as well. Anyway, Trellan does not need to move a recruit. Ara certainly does. 4 more Treekin. There we go. A nice little prezi for Durthu. Durthu, speaking of you. Now, it would actually be nice to go down there. Can the Bretonnians handle Kemmler? You know, I somehow doubt it. I think we're better off going to Ziflin and then striking at Blackstone Post. It does have solid defenses, though. What kind of army do we have here? Kemmler is kind of pressed between both Bretonnian factions. And we could try and, well... assuming this army destroys the Fanchantress's army, it'll be up to Lewin. Is his army up to the task of destroying Kemmler's? I don't know. Maybe you guys should stop fighting rogue armies and actually focus on your actual enemy. It's just that I feel like we'd get a lot more mileage out of Durthu sort of helping the Empire right now, because if the Empire falls, we'll just be constantly attacked from this side, and that'll be an issue. Plus, he has to kind of stay near here as well, because he needs transfers of units. You know what? Go up here. This kind of is an action in between the two. Do we have a military access with you? Yes, we do. Alright, so, Durthu, I want you up here. Like so. We'll take Aelhart and we'll give it back to the Empire. Then we'll give them Grunberg and they'll have the entire province, and we'll try to destroy this stuff out here and then possibly deal with Vlad as needed. But stick around Athel Loren until his army is good to go, and then we'll send him out to a new tree afterwards. You guys.
Ready to serve.
I guess, wait. The Glade Captain with Wanton Destruction. You're going to Orion, so you're going to go here. These two Way Watchers, so Way Stalkers, are going down to join the ranged army. Alright, and then the same with the stuff that Daith has, minus you. I mean, I guess we could give them another Glade Captain. I'm just not so sure that there is all that much usefulness out of it. Anyway, we'll ignore that for now. And I think that's everybody that we can move this turn. So it's still so bizarre, the admin or lack thereof. Arguelon. We don't technically need to build up the roots of Gairan, at least I don't want to waste the growth on it, so I'd rather go for the Game Lodge with the increased growth here, and allow you to continue growing. 3 more turns until we get access to Zotes, among other things. And Vol's Anvil, you're waiting to get the growth buildings, namely the Craftsman's Tree, and then the other one after, once you've grown enough. Yes. Alrighty, and that's all we could do there. Who do we send for this? Frankly, I'm pretty sure any army could deal with it. We just need somebody who is free to move. Too bad that the contiguous stuff with magical forests doesn't count as an extension of same said magical forest, as that would be real helpful. But alas. Alrighty, anyway, let's see what else we've got over here in diplomacy. Doesn't look like there's anything, which means we can end the turn. Skip. Wait. We want to build a outpost with you. Chiang, I take it Hanyu Port is not available. That's a shame. Chiang's a little bit in a dangerous place, but it's probably also the best place to build it, plus it'll give us immediate access to drums, so that's what we're gonna do. Keep racking up allegiance with these guys, although this mission is useless to us. Icket Claw. That was still hanging around Skavenblight. Not moving towards us yet, but he will eventually. Yeah, let's accept the mission for him. And Giblet, probably not. Double up on Giblet? Oh, let's do Jurgen Gantz as well. There we are. Alright, now we can end the turn. You should also double check the offices for some of the newer armies. Alright, Scrag the Slaughterer. Wellity. Oh, did I besiege this instead of attacking it? I did. That one's my bad, I forgot about that. Well, you know what? It might be better to just avoid the Skaven Plague there. Skaven Plagues are distressingly strong. Do we peace out with you temporarily, or do we raise all of your territories? If we peace out with you, we could go up here and destroy the dwarfs and maybe work on Vladi a little bit. Help out the Empire, rather than hanging around here. Plus, it will enable us to go to other tree places. It will also, however, allow them to recover. Which ain't great. No, you know, I'm gonna say no. We're gonna attack them, we're gonna destroy their stuff. They're too close to us in proximity. Frankly, what we need to do is we need to find an allied faction that we could put in there, if that makes sense, to take their territory and hold it so that we don't have to deal with it. Just let us grow our trees and build better units. Alright, ally begins outpost. Illyrian destroyed. We were to war with them. Parts of Sartosa destroyed. Wa fails. Nemesis crown.
I will sing
There's Belagar. And he's in March stance. Oh, Belagar. Oh, and Vlad's here too. Oh man, we gotta go for Belagar first. Maybe we'll take sufficient damage that Vlad will actually attempt to fight us. We don't, however, have a military access agreement with you. Minus 31. You really don't like us killing Angrund, do you? How much is Dotternbach and Wissenberg worth to you? 7.2 and probably the same. And 7.2. It's not a lot. It'll make them like us more, but not enough to get an agreement. Oh well. Orion, your time to shine. Though isn't it always? Do we need Eyes of the Forest? Another plus 25% damage success chance? That ain't bad. I'm gonna say Rain of Spines for the range cav. And that includes the flying cav. Although we should really start putting some points in the actual red line. Anyway, a Rain of Spines for you. Oh, and the Rain of Spines will help Orion himself as well. You like to cast both Vissen's Wild Form and Flock of Doom. I'm gonna say Vissen's Wild Form is going to be very useful here because of the additional armor. Charging into dwarfs and all. We could do the Pan's Impenetrable Pelt, or we could do Scouting. Nah, Flock of Doom. That was neither option. Orion kill.
To the hunt.
I wonder if this counts as a forest battle. I forgot to check what the actual terrain was. Yeah, this looks ugly, but we are going to fight it because it's Belagar. He deserves it.
Fools will.
Alright, here we go. Now that is a lot of bolt throwers, so we're going to have to watch out, at the very least, for our Hawk Riders, who these things will very much be a threat to. And I suppose, in fact no supposing, the bolt throwers will very much be a threat to the Wild Riders as well, if they can actually catch them to target them, because damn well do these things move fast, and damn well do they charge right into those bolt throwers before they know it. Here comes the charge. 2 of the enemy units, maybe 3 of the enemy units of bolt throwers get caught while our Hawk Riders make their way forward to go for the rest. In fact, without bothering to have a shootout with the bolt throwers, as they've already lost a couple of their Hawks, they're just going to jump down into melee or come down into melee and start ripping them apart. You'll also notice that Belagar here is down to about 30% HP already within the 40 seconds of the battle so far, as Orion and our Waystalker have both been firing away at poor Belagar, and pretty darn effectively, I might add. Gotta remember that Orion is pretty solid in terms of his range damage, unlike most range lords, and is actually able to dish out quite a lot of damage. In fact, due to his limited ammunition, it's generally a waste to have him fire on anything other than lords, heroes, and single entity monsters. Occasionally monstrous infantry as well, depending on whether you have better targets. Anyway, looks like all the bolt throwers, with the exception of these 2, are out. Belagar has never reached the main line because he just got obliterated by Orion's range prowess, and will now get sniped away by the Hawk Riders, or potentially... okay, so now there we go, spear coming in from Orion, brings him down and gets the final blow as well. The Hawk Riders and the units of Wild Riders continuing to be absolute menaces as well. The dwarfs generally vulnerable to very fast-moving armies that can hit them from every side, and the Wild Riders and Hawk Riders certainly exemplify that sort of strategy. The enemy also does have ghost pals, Belagar's ghostly ancestor friends, but they get ripped apart just as quickly by Orion and by the Waystalker rather, as they have a magical damage on their attacks. Another spear and another kill. Looks like Orion is taking out the Angrund clan one by one. I guess it's personal for him. Very nice, though. And another spear chuck. I do believe there is another ancestor heading towards us this time. It is the Runesmith, and perhaps I should have targeted you earlier so that the runes weren't available. But nonetheless, regardless, the enemy army is pretty much destroyed. The 2 units of Grudge Settler Slayers are running around attempting to catch the Wild Riders, but having a very difficult time doing so, with the exception of this one, which will go down under our own range fire. Last of the ghost spells, Throny Ironbrow heading towards our lines and will desperately get off an explosive rune. Managing to hit a few of our units. That said, Orion will make it into the fray. Oh, there's the rune. Orion will make it into the fray and bring the Ghost Pal down as well. That's 3 for 3 for the King in the Woods. Lovely, and with the death of the last of the Clan Angrund ancestors, the enemy army will shatter, leaving only the remnants of the Grudge Slayers, who are attempting to, or Slayers of Grudge Settlers, whatever, who are attempting to chase fruitlessly for the entire battle of those Wild Riders. They never had a chance, and now they are running around with the Hawk Riders sniping them from above as well. We've switched to our multi-shot arrows. And just fill those poor Slayers up with arrows until they have their doom. And what do we got here? About, oh wow, these guys count as a tier 5 unit too. Damn. I don't think these guys counted as a tier 5 unit. That's kind of impressive. Considering it's a basic Slayer unit, not a, yeah, it's a Dulax variant. Even if it is a Grudge Settler. Well, nonetheless. And they had 2 of those as well. Well, we certainly don't have any tier 5 units in this particular army, do we? Not that we need them. The Hawk Riders count as tier 4 though, so that's pretty solid still. Anyway, the last of the Grudge Settlers are still rushing towards us, or at least attempting to do so, and the last one will get brought down. And with that, the battle will be fully ours. And very, very nice. Absolute slaughter. Oh, those poor Slayers. Not the way they'd want it to go, I'd wager, and I guess the same thing goes for Belegar. Sniped from a distance, but hey, at least Orion was putting in the work with that spear this time around. In terms of the damage, it looks like for the Hawk Riders, Jaskrippen made their debut, and for the Wild Riders, it looks like the shielded ones significantly outdid the other 2. Interesting. Probably depends on, well, obviously it depends on which units they were attacking. Obviously the Deepwood Scouts outdamaged the Glade Guard, but the Glade Guard are here only temporarily until we replace them with other stuff, so. Alrighty, and there we go. This will be potentially useful if we're fighting the Skaven, but otherwise Belegar has a pretty garbage defeat trait, even in SFO, so what you gonna do? Elven Steed for Akka. Battle Masters, I really wish that it was recruitment cost reduction, and by the looks of it, we cannot reach Vladi. That said, I imagine we'll try to protect Gristle Valley here, so go here. In the sense that it's more valuable to us than Wissenberg and stuff is. Now, he can reach Wissenberg, but even if he does, we can try to transfer it back. I mean, we could give it to these guys for now. It's not like the trade aspect of it is going to do too much for us. Nobody wants to get any new trade agreements with us right now, after all, so yeah, why not? Trade Wissenberg, and if they lose it, they lose it. Like so, we'll do it for the money and for the additional friendly relations, I guess. Alright. Gotta ply them with territory so that they're not as upset about Belegar. No, Belegar. you're losing all your holds to greenskin rebels. That's yeah, well, talk about missing the forest for the trees. You, Deluric, not quite in range, eh? I mean, still in our own territory, but well, whatever. Alright, I go in march stance here. We'll go right to the edge of Shambletown, and then we should still have... Oh, this is the last turn of the hunt is on. Darn. I mean, we could still travel, right? Can we? Let's find out. No, you're out of range. Damn. I wanted to send her up to deal with this, but it looks like... I mean, we still will be able to, but without the hunt is on cooldown, so... Eh. Not quite as worth our time. Oh, good. Kingsglade, you have... Oh, I could have built tree spirits here as well. I guess I should have done that, my bad. Well, you've only got one turn on these anyway. Vol's Anvil, you can't build anything interesting as yet, but you can build more growth, which will eventually enable you to, well, grow more stuff. I was about to say build more interesting stuff, but that's actually tied to money and not to growth, but that's fine. That's just fine. We will need another cavalry building. Oh, you know what you could do, Trelon? Go here and build a couple of eagles for us. I'm not entirely sure which army we'll put them in, but, well, why not? More eagles. Can't go wrong with more eagles. Alright, so... Erathon will attest to that. Durthu. These guys are together now. Enchantress is still around, though. I wonder if they'd attack us together if we move towards them. I don't even know if we could beat them with Durthu's army. I don't know what's in their army, that's the issue. It's gonna go for Aleheart. Which we could still do, or we could jump here and risk being attacked by 2 full stacks and a level 17 Heinrich Kammler. Now, Durthu would be decent at it. We do have the 2 War Dancers and a couple of Treekin. Risky without any kind of real damaging spells. We do have a free Penumbral Pendulum. You know what? Screw it. Durthu. Sounds like you'd listen to reason anyway. Let's see. We are 1 more level away from Ancient Enmity, and Glade Captain, you're in here temporarily, but you can get the Arrow of Kurnus and still help out with that sort of stuff. Loren, you are going to attack this. 4 more turns of that Skaven Plague. The Skaven Plague is literally keeping these guys alive right now. Huh. How much would this... 4.4k to piece out with them, eh? This isn't... I mean, they'll eventually redeclare war on us. No doubt about it. But we could ignore them for a little bit and come back to it. It's a fair bit of money. May even allow Orion to head down to Skavenblight, which we should do. Or, you know, but also try to avoid the plague. Yeah, you know what? Why not? Why not? If the Skaven Plague's here, it's going to be half the time that that we won't be able to do anything about this anyway. So we'll do this, and this way we can't get intercepted either. Alright, there you go. We will, however, still fight this, and you have the Arrow of Kurnus. You can have... Wait, does Dance of Loic actually block anything for you, Glade Captain? Doesn't look like it. Yeah, once again, we need these guys for basically every army since they buff a lot of different types of units. You can have increased mobility. Foe Seeker's not going to be super useful to us right now, especially not for the Glade Captain. Fight this, go. By Kurnus indeed, and let Kurnus bless our aim as this battle-hide wager is going to be decided at range. The enemy is got an absolute ton of ogres to their name, but we have deployed sort of to the side of the army and will be probably obliterating about half of the enemy line before they can do much. Indeed, the enemy Firebelly will also be focused down. The Hawkeyes of Drakira, as well as our Lord, are going to target it and quickly bring it down, vulnerable as it is. The Hawkeyes will attempt to back off. Well, no attempt about it. Will simply back off as the enemy attempts to charge towards them. Lines of Nobblers are, by the looks of it, once again, looking like they're going to survive a little bit longer than the Ogres, which are just melting under arrow fire. So far, I'm really liking how different our armies are feeling, just not overusing the whole Glade Guard stack thing. Because obviously we could just pump out like 10 armies of Glade Guard and basically nothing else that are basically free and just conquer the entire map before the enemy can even react, but that wouldn't be very fun, would it? Anyway, let that the enemy army shatters and the battle will be ours, and I don't think we actually need to chase here, do we? Alright, that went exactly as expected. We will raise the place and move on. Will we be able to heal afterwards? Yes, we will. Lovely. And camp and move on to either Myrmidons or to Zvorak. Doesn't really matter over much. Myrmidons is tier 1. Argalis rather might be a little bit too far. I guess we'll go for Myrmidons. I'm pretty sure we'd be able to reach it. Also, do you have a Royal Standard Bearer? Indeed you do. Let's take a quick look at the items that we've racked up. Channeling Staff and Scroll of Shielding into Sword of Strife. It's okay. Shrieking Blade I'd like to keep, but the Gold Edge of Sword is probably not worth our time. Fuse. Dodan, you don't need the Obsidian Trinket, and the Lex Stone is kind of garbage. Potion of Healing, nice pickup though. That just made Durthu considerably more powerful. Hail of Doom Arrow. Oh, we have another one of these. Wait. Somebody has this ability, doesn't they? Wait. Let me just... Relax. Announcements. Stop it. You. Yeah, you have that Hail of Doom Arrow. I do like that though. Oh, alright, well, I guess we'll give you to Dodan for now. Would be nice to get one of these in basically every single hero of his army. Which would be nice indeed. Don't need the Ruby Ring of Ruin. Spell Shield is fine, actually. Enchanted Shield we'll just keep. Well, you know what? Fuse these two. Yes. Into a Fencer's Blade, a much better pickup. Alright, now that that's done, Durthu, come here for a sec. You are going to switch to... Armor Fortune. You're gonna have to deal with Krell. I mean, it's not like anybody else in your army is gonna be able to deal with it. Potion of Healing. We don't have anything good talisman-wise, do we? So we have to basically keep the Obsidian Amulet. Which is a bit of a shame. And as for casting items, I just deleted the only casting items we had, but they were garbage casting items, so yeah. Also, we'll take out the Hunting Hound, we'll replace it with a Scarecrow banner, because there are a lot of bats in the enemy army. I don't see the purpose of the Young Stag here. You could do a Banner of Eternal Flame against the Undead as well. I mean, it's 2 stacks, we gotta actually be prepared for it. Let's put the Helm of Discord on Katra here. If I can find it. And the Glade Captain doesn't really need anything, but we can pop that increased mobility. Alrighty, that looks good to me. What about building? Talsyn has something available, but it is merely branches of Gur, which is useless to us, as we'd rather go for the Hunter's Vault and the Artisan's Nexus. Once again, it's growth for all provinces. Why do we care about these growth? Because they will eventually give us a bunch of wineries, which will rack up tons and tons of money over time. The only reason we're not using them is because the other buildings, the military structures right now are just plain more important. Anyway, nothing else to build, eh? Alright, that's fine. Let us check this. So Loren is the Master of Scouts with his Deepwood, Wildwood Rangers, Hawk Riders, and Eagles and Glade Riders, eh? No Sisters of the Thorn, but it's fine. This buff Sisters of the Thorn, but it's basically upkeep production straight up for cav units. And this is just missile strength. This one's kind of awful. I guess raising settlements, but yeah, this one's kind of awful. We could give it to... I was about to say give it to a tree that reduces leadership, but then the missile resistance would be useless. A game. And then Dilleric obviously isn't going to be using this. We need somebody to lead the Eternal Guard for it. Speaking of... what do we have here? Still Leafborn Servant, which might lead the Leafblade Veteran. More likely than not, you're going to be leading the Eternal Guard. Damn. Why am I saying damn? Because I really wanted Dilleric here to... she's like a... it's like half an inch away from the border, isn't she? Oh well, not a big deal. Alright, skip, and turn. I think. Oh, I forgot to move the scout, didn't I? I forgot to move the scout, and I also forgot Daith, but Daith doesn't really need to move right now. And oh, I forgot all the other heroes. Alright. See, all of the lack of the admin just threw me completely. Oh, you're kind of still moving where you're supposed to go. Well done, sir. Although I guess it also depends on where the other army is going. And you're heading to Orion, who may or may not be fighting Vlad momentarily. These guys are probably going to come back for us. I might peace out with them and just let them get killed by the Skaven as well. Frankly, the same probably could go for Belagar. Jiao-Ming, don't you okay, I thought they were going to break their alliance, and ooh. He's probably going to try to destroy the spirits of Shannon. We need to try to confederate them before he does. The obvious issue there is that, well, how are we going to do that? We need to fight Cathay. And I would assume that the only way that we can fight Cathay with all the Cathayans dead is the forest encounter appearing in their location. And Heinrich Kemmler will indeed attack us, and he has my beloved Hex Rates. Gonna have to be careful with those, though fortunately all forest spirits deal magical damage, so a little bit weaker against those ethereal units. Let's put the banner of Eternal Flame on Durthu, I guess? There's Vortex on him. And Scarecrow banner on... I'm going to say you, because you can probably reposition yourself faster than... Oh, nope. Spellsinger of Shadows can reposition ourselves to that. Alright, and this seems like a great fight, so great fight we shall have. Go. Alrighty, I'm pretty sure I heard Durthu say Drakira. I'm pretty sure. I do wish that we had translation for whatever maniacal things Durthu is saying. And too bad we couldn't get to fight the battle for the Sword of Death, but whatever. All good. Speaking of the Sword of Death, it does have a nice ability and area damage effect, melee attack reduction, and spell resistance reduction as well. It only does affect 4 entities, but still, should be pretty nice as those entities drop. And the debuff will... I imagine that it's only the damage that affects 4 entities, but the debuff should affect everybody? Maybe? I'm not sure. Anyway, either way, let's see if we can do this. 2 stacks, Kemmler himself, as well as a reinforcing stack and Krell. But we do have some better units now than the simple dryads we had when Durthu debuted against the enemy. I guess he debuted against the dwarves, but you know what? This is his real debut. A proper battle, a proper challenge to send the dead back to their graves. And the War Dancers in combination with the Treekin. The Treekin can take the brunt of the charge and the damage, while the War Dancers weave between their bows and dish out their damage. It's a good idea in concept. Let's see how it does in practice. And with that, it looks like the enemy is, well, I was going to say annoyed at us and moving forward, but we haven't really annoyed them. And I suppose since they're attacking us, they were always going to move towards us. And in theory, we perhaps didn't need to cross this distance. But that's alright. Also, I really like the way these guys look, the Wraiths of the Frozen Heart. Wish we could use this color scheme as well. But anyway, the Hex Wraiths charge in, the cold units versus the chilly units. I guess these are not the chill geists, but nonetheless, they are ghostly. Unfortunately for them, they are charging in where Durthu is standing, and he will be bringing down Hex Wraiths with every swing of that massive sword. Now, the rest of the enemy army is moving in, and there are plenty more dead where that came from. Will our line of Dryads be overrun, or will the Treekin and Dryads manage to hold while the Blade Dancers dish out, or Blade Dancers, while the War Dancers manage to dish out the damage? Let's find out. Bats have come down. Durthu's still anchoring the line, right in the middle of the fray. Black Knights have attempted to charge in, but can find no purchase as the mass of the Treekin prevents them from doing anything. That said, the enemy outnumbers us by a pretty wide margin in terms of sheer numbers of units. In addition to that, I do believe Krell has joined the fray. somewhere in here. Oh, there he is. And, ooh, a nice Lamentation of Despairs actually comes down from Durthu. It's very difficult to use that spell, unfortunately, as Durthu tends to not want to cast it while in melee. But all good. Alright, even our spell singer has decided to join in on the fighting. Krell and Durthu swinging away at each other, though of course Durthu probably cleaving asunder many a zombie and wraith and white as he attacks Krell. On top of that, Durthu is popping off those flocks of doom and dishing out additional damage to the blobs of units that are around him. Yeah, it's a pretty ideal situation for him as well. Durthu's down by about 30% HP, but he does have his healing potion available to him, and Krell is, well, suffering roughly as much damage. We are attempting to move forward now towards Kemmler. Gotta stop him casting if we can, so some of the tree spirits, or the dryads and the treekin, together with the war dancers, have charged forth. There are also a few necromancers on corpse carts here, and it would be good to keep them away from the main line. The biggest problem with the AI's inability to command the vampire counts is that it doesn't understand that the support units, the corpse carts and the mortis engines, are a big part of how you make the garbage units of the basic vampire counts incredibly strong and able to withstand assault under much stronger units, or otherwise assault much stronger units. The AI has a tendency to keep those corpse carts back, and thus they don't serve much of a purpose, which is a shame. Considering the vampire counts are my favorite units, it's a shame to see them misused so by the AI. Anyway, ooh, another Lamentation of Despair smashing into the lines of zombies. I'm willing to bet Durthu is racking up a heck of a kill count this time around. Looks like he's brought Krell down by about 30% HP now. Although I'm sure the piles of zombies and such were interfering with their duel as it is. That said, the balance of power has shifted to about 70% in our favor now. 2 of our units of dryads have been severely damaged and have been forced to back off, or are in the process of backing off back here. And even the Wraiths of the Frozen Heart have been forced to back off a little bit further lest they take additional damage. Durthu, by the looks of it, now able to focus Krell properly, who is now down to a mere 30% of his HP, surrounded by dryads from every side, and still having to watch out for the Sword of Death. And by the looks of it, Krell will begin to crumble. Turning away from Durthu, a foolish move on your part, but whether you turn away from him or towards him, you would not have won this particular fight. Durthu has always been an extremely nasty combatant. And down goes Krell. Kemmler probably getting worried at this point as his main line is starting to simply run out of units. The one unfortunate aspect of this is it's hard to spot what the war dancers are doing in here, but at the same time, the war dancers aren't really supposed to be in this army, and just because we can't see them, it doesn't mean they're not dishing out massive amounts of damage. Still attempting to chase around Krell and the, I like the Melkot's Mystifying Miasma effect on our units. Actually looks kind of cool. And what was I saying? Alright, we're still trying to chase it around all those Necros. Unfortunately, we didn't quite have the damage or the ability to break through the enemy lines to get to them sufficiently. But now with the enemy army dwindling, that's very much about to change. It looks like this Necromancer has been caught by the War Dancers and the Treekin, and I don't think it's going to be able to get out, especially as the War Dancers run extremely quickly and dish out massive amount of damage, even if these are the dual sword rather than the spear variant, which would kill the corpse cart that much faster. Not that this thing is dying all that slowly anyway, as it will begin to melt away. Looks like Kemmler has been found. and Durthu has brought him down to about 70% of his HP, and with one more swing of those wooden talons, bring him down. With Kemmler's fall, the rest of his necromancers melt away, or perhaps attempt to flee into the undergrowth, where they will be tormented and hunted down by spites, dryads, and other malevolent spirits. At least that's what I'd like to think. A fitting fate for the necromancers. Alrighty, a glorious and proper true debut for Mr. Durthu. 657 kills, 174,000 damage on the big boy. He defeated Krell, he obliterated, crushed, and pulverized Kemmler, and, well, most of his army suffered the same fate as well. Great job to a number of the dryads. This particular Brian trait had the Penumbral Pendulum, so she got plenty of kills on her as well, and the War Dancers felt like they combined very, very nicely with the Treekin, which is kind of interesting and not something I had thought of. Not that I was going to put Treekin into a Loic army, but there may be another sort of army composition where we use some Treekin, some War Dancers, and I'll think about what else we can throw in there. Certainly interesting. Anyway, 3.6k for our trouble and another 2.1k. We are in friendly territory, so we shall heal up. And I guess we do want to take the money, as we do want to continue leveling up our places. Vlad will get ambushed. Unfortunately, however, this does mean that I'm going to have to call the episode here. We're closing in on an hour, and I already have 4 battles in this particular episode, and it's already a ton of... It's always a ton of editing when it's more than 2 battles, and 4 is quite enough. 5 would be insane. So, I'm gonna call it here. We'll start the next episode off with Vladi versus Orion. And, I guess it'll be a little bit on theme since we just defeated Kemmler as well. Should be a fun fight here. Anyway, more Orion to come, so stay tuned. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below, especially to Threshold. All glory to the algorithm. And thanks for watching.